Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to my sunny craft room. It's about time. So I'm starting a new project today. I've never done one. I don't know how long it will take me. This is just me making something, and for those of you who'd like to watch me make it, these videos are for you. So what is it? It's going to be a lapbook, and to make it I'm actually going to use the book cover from the Secret Garden book, so this one. Beautiful images inside, and the cover itself, as you can see, it's come apart at the spine, but basically when I did a flip through of it, I was very excited about these flip outs on the front and back covers, and I thought originally I was going to make a folio. And I was playing around with it last night, and I managed to make it into a lapbook kind of shape. So for those of you who've not seen a lapbook before, basically you have your big spine in the middle, and you have your sort of flip outs, as it were. And when the book closes, you actually have two mini spines on these flaps, which together match your original big spine. So it folds like this, and then you can put like a little latch here and stuff, so it folds out 4 ways. So that's what I'm making. So for this project I'm going to be using some of the ephemera that I've been making on video. So I've pulled out some pieces that I think will work for this project. And I'm also going to be using the Secret Garden book pages. So for this I wanted to use the full-sized book images, and I was really waiting for the right project to come along because these are beautiful images. They're much bigger than a normal journal size, and I didn't want to cut them down or lose anything from these. So this really is the perfect project to use them with the original book cover. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, and this project, I'm actually going to use this beautiful wrapping paper for my cover, because a lot of the images in the book have actually a lot of green in them. There's a lot of greenery, a lot of trees, a lot of bushes, and a lot of brown from brick and wood and stuff. So I wanted to lean into that side more than, bring in pinks and colours, of course, for the flowers, but I also wanted to lean into the green. And I found this wrapping paper in my stash. It's a shop called the Paper Nook Tree. And I don't know if you can you see that little like balcony bit, and you've got this part and this path, and somewhere there was even a gate. Or I might have been looking at that, but basically it feels like you're at the manor going into the Secret Garden. So I thought this would be the perfect wrapping paper to use, and I've got plenty of it. So that's what I'm going to use for the cover. So first things first, when I took the pages out of the book, the spine actually tore away from the cover, the front cover. Because the papers were actually essentially the spine. It was really weird setup. So I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and take this off, and I'm going to be really lazy and just essentially rip this off because it's only card, and I'm going to make my own spine instead. So don't need that. So we've got this. So before I cover these pieces with the wrapping paper, I'm going to reinforce the spines with my trusty framer's tape. So these are the spines that go at the front of the book to make those flip outs. Now, as I say, I've never made a lapbook. I have seen a few videos, people doing series and things, like Mandy from Sunflowers Indoors, she's done one, Tanya from Tatty Treasure has done one, and I'm sure there have been other people as well. I think even Shabby Dabby Doodah has done one. I've never done one. So this for me is going to be a fun experiment. And you know how much I love to upcycle and repurpose things. So when I figured it out with this book cover, I thought, brilliant, that's the project for me. I knew this cover was going to be some kind of folio, but I just didn't know that I was going to do a lapbook with it. Okay, so that's fine for now. I am going to reinforce the spines with chipboard, but for now I just wanted to have those, you know, folds and stuff nice and crisp. Have I done the wrong one? No, that's fine, yeah. I was folding it in the wrong place, silly me. Yeah, so I wanted the tape to go all the way across so that that's nice and together, like those flips and flaps are not going to come off. Okay, so I'm actually going to be doing each part of the lapbook separately so that I can fold up this wrapping paper around all of these edges. Hopefully you can see. I know it's tricky with the lighting, but also the size of the wrapping paper. Okay, so first things first, I'm using Fabri-Tac because this is a shiny surface. So I'm just gonna put some glue along there and just get it down on top of the wrapping paper so that I don't have to worry about I just don't want it, yeah, I didn't want the glue to dry. So I don't know if I'm going to stitch around this. I might. I'll see how I feel once I've done all of this. So I'm putting enough glue on that if I don't stitch around it, then it's not, you know, it's going to be fine. But okay. Where's my scissors? So I'm just going to cut across very roughly. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that to one side to give it a moment to take whilst I do the other cover. So as this is very much a craft with me and a let's just see how this turns out, I hope that you will get something from this, even if it's just a bit of enjoyment as to seeing something transformed into something else. I love videos like that. Now I'm going to bring this one over if I can with this wrapping paper. I'm going to bring it over to this side just so that I can get a different part of the wrapping paper, and then that way I can decide which of these is going to be my front cover and my back cover. In a minute I will tell you about how I got the spines on this book cover, because they didn't come like that. I did that off screen just because I was just playing around with stuff, and but I will show you what I did, so we'll do that in a minute as well. But like I say, not a tutorial, not any way being a tutorial, very much a, well, I'm making one and thought you might like to see. Excuse me whilst I cut this down. Okay, so I've still got a nice amount of wrapping paper left for other bits and bobs. And I'm chucking things left, right and centre. No surprises there, I hear you say. Okay, right, so now I've got something I can work with. I love this wrapping paper. So just like we would a fabric cover, I want to bring all of my edges in. And I'm pulling them tight enough that they're taut against the edges of my book cover. And I know you can't see, but I'm going the whole way around every edge. As I say, yeah, I knew that I wanted to do a folio, but I'm glad that I waited, because I don't think I necessarily would have come up with this idea, you know, a few months ago. It's one of those, the timing just kind of goes right. Okay, so what I'm doing here is where the corners are, I'm just cutting across in a diagonal, so we get those little triangles off, and then that way I can just glue everything up and have some really nice crisp edges. And again, I'm going to use the beacon, the Fabri-Tac, just in case I don't end up stitching around, but I probably will, let's be honest. I like stitching, I like the look of it, but also it gives me peace of mind that things are down well. So I don't know how much we'll get done in each video. I'm just gonna go with each sort of stage of the process really and take it from there video wise. So as I say, I don't know how many parts I'll need to do or anything, but okay, and then I'm just gonna make sure those corners are nice. That's it. I can always add book corners to some of it, but for those of you who know me, you know that I'm not a fan of book corners. I love how they look, I just think that they're hard work to put on. Like, I'm not, if I can avoid book corners, then I usually do. So I am filming this in the evening, which is why the light is a bit funny, because the sun is, you know, essentially setting. Well, it was one of those, I just wanted to get on with it type projects. You know, when you sit in there and you're getting more and more excited the longer you spend picking papers and planning things. Okay, so that's one. I'm going to leave it to dry a bit before doing the, I need to put the score marks back in for my spines. And there was another reason for removing the covers from the spine, was because my wrapping paper wasn't wide enough to do the whole entire thing as one piece. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Okay, and then again, just cut those corners. So I hope you're all doing well. I'd love to know what the weather's doing your neck of the woods. As I say, it's been a lot of rain for us, but it's finally, I mean, it was quite dreary and wet this morning, but it's actually come out to be a nice afternoon. But considering we're, you know, coming up to the middle of May, at the time of filming, I don't know when these videos will go up, by the way, just a caveat in case, you know, it could be June that you see these videos, I don't know. I know I want to get a couple of them filmed before I put them up, just to give me that breathing space, you know, for thinking and planning and scheduling and all the rest of it. But yeah, we have had a lot of rain. A lot of rain. But they tell me summer is on the way, so we shall see. Right. Probably will need to go in with some extra glue, but for now, job's a good one. And I've never used wrapping paper for a cover before, so this is a nice little fun experiment for me as well. This is really good quality wrapping paper though. Really beautiful design, but also very good quality. So I'm not worried about it ripping, you know, it's not, it's more like a thick paper than a wrapping paper really. Okay, so that's that. So I'm going to put these score marks in again, and this is the part where I said I'll show you what I did to get my mini spines. So basically what I did was I measured my main spine, which is about 1 inch, and I wanted 2 small spines to make up this piece, which means I would want 2 1/2-inch spines for, you know, the front of the spines that you saw in the beginning. So it was as simple as that, and I just simply put in a 1/2-inch guide. So I used, where the cover folded out like this, the original book cover, I used that for the original crease, I guess, and then I just put in another score mark which would make it 1/2 inch. That's all I did. So I was just checking something with the scoring, because it didn't I couldn't remember which score mark was which. So anyway, I can see them here, so I'm gonna just simply put them back in, if I can do it carefully. And I'm not pressing super hard because obviously I don't want to cause any problems. Like, I don't want to go through my cover or anything. Oops. That's it. That's better. I hope it made sense what I said about you know, getting the 2 little spines. 1/2 inch, 2 1/2-inch spines makes up your main 1-inch spine, doesn't it? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna bone folder these down carefully. Oh, I do love this wrapping paper. Really nice, and I'm glad I waited for the right project, because I kind of, it was one of those, you see someone use it. I think it was Tanya from Tessie Treasure was making a journal with this wrapping paper, and I was like, I have to have that wrapping paper, so I just went out and bought it, you know, because you never know when these things might go, you know, might be discontinued. So, but I'm glad that I waited to use it, because this is going to be, you know, a lovely project for this. Okay, so that's my 2 spines in. That's it. No. That's that one. Okay, so let's just check things over. So that's how it's gonna look on the inside, and then, well, obviously with 1 inch spine in the middle there. And then when we fold the pieces together to close the book, that's how it's going to look on the outside. And it looks like that's my front cover. Which is nice. We've got a little house in there. We've got a nice tree. Really nice. I think any of it would have been nice. And then that's the back. So, I mean, really, I probably would have preferred this to be the front, but I can't do that because of how the... Oh, I don't know, actually. No, I can't, can I? Because, yeah, it folds that way. Sorry, again, like I say, not a tutorial, it's just me figuring things out. So I probably would have preferred that to be the front, but then equally, that's just as nice, isn't it? Okay, so that's that. So I'm happy with that. So now I want to attach my 1-inch spine to these two pieces, and I like to keep things simple. So I'm going to use tape, and you won't see this, I'm going to cover this with something else, something prettier. So I think the easiest thing will be to run some tape along this spine. Okay, like so. So I've got a bit of tape hanging past my spine, and I'm simply going to... Oh, actually, do I want to do that? Sorry, I was just figuring it out. So I want the tape to be on the inside of my cover, so you can't see it from... I don't want the tape to be on this side, right? I think. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave a little bit of space as best I can. Yeah, so I've got this part here. I'm going to obviously decorate the spine, so it's tricky to explain, but this is the front spine at the front, and this is the main inch spine, so it's going to sit like this. Obviously we've got this gap that we need to cover over, and of course the grey board. What I will do is I'm going to put some paper over it, and then this spine is going to get covered with crochet or lace anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that tape over, because as I say, this will all be hidden. And then I'm going to run some tape along here, as straightly as I can, which I'll then cover over with some extra paper and the lace crochet for the spine. It will make sense once it's all joined together, I think. Hopefully. Okay, and then just stick that down. And this is very strong tape. It's like a framer's tape. It's very, very strong, good quality tape. I use it for a lot of things, especially my spines, and I've never had any issues with it. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put some tape along the spine part, and then we want to attach that to this piece, again leaving a gap. want to reposition that because it didn't quite look quite right. That's that. Cogs are wearing. But you know me, I love a challenge. Okay, and then I'm just going to run some more tape along there. And again, that will be hidden by the crochet. Okay, so I'm hoping that was clear what I was doing. Essentially what you have is you have your large inch spine, your front cover, and you've got your two small spines. These are both 1/2 inch, which meet like this for it to open like this. I hope that makes sense. That's a lapbook shape, and I absolutely love it. Really love it already. And as I say, this will be covered by some more paper and some crochet, and on the inside all of this will be covered and whatnot. So that's the main spine in. I also cut some grey board to fit within these smaller spines, just to strengthen them. Part of me thinks they don't really need it, to be honest. Like, I could do it, but I don't think it needs it. Like, it feels quite strong. I just don't know if maybe it will just, obviously it'll make it stronger, but I don't know if it's overkill. Is the simple part. I am going to make it a little bit smaller though, just so that it's not I don't want it to be, you know, I don't want you to be able to see it. I suppose it can't hurt to have it, can it? I mean, this is all going to be covered up. Okay, I'm going to glue it in. So I'm going to use the beacon again, just because I know it's nice and strong. As I say, this step is probably overkill, but I suppose it can't hurt to have it. Be safe than sorry, you know. When reinforcing your spines like this, you just have to be aware that you want your spine, the piece that you're adding, to be narrow enough to fit within your score marks without impeding on them. So they need to be, it needs to be narrower than what you think generally. Okay, and then I've got another one for here, and again I'm just gonna cut a little bit off. This is just from the back of a scrapbook paper pad. I saved the backs of them because some of them are very thick, so really good for spines and reinforcing spines. Really good for that. Now in hindsight, what I wish I had done is been able to put these spines underneath the foresty paper, but I just wasn't able to do that because obviously I needed to cover the whole thing before I could join these two book covers together, essentially, because it was so large. But as I say, it's just how I'm going about doing it, and I know a lot of you do like to just watch me figure things out and you know, come up with ideas of how I'm going to repurpose things. Okay, so I'm just going to give those a minute to dry. And I also need to figure out what the next step is. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is start covering up these areas with the tape on. So I've just gone through some of my wallpaper scraps just to cut down some pieces just to cover that up. And as I say, these will be, I'm going to use the art glitter glue actually. These will be hidden by, you know, crochets and papers and various other things. I don't know why I'm using the art glitter glue. I think it's just because I would like to get those edges down. But I'll probably still need to come in with extra glue, so I don't know. Maybe I think that I'm saving part of the process, but just sort of lining it up to just to cover over that tape. And I'm just going to, oops, got a little bit of excess, so I'm just going to carefully trim that off. That'll do. And then we want the same for the inside. So again, I'm just going to pop that down. Just checking that's the right piece. Yeah. And I'll probably call that a video. I thought I might be able to map the papers today, but actually that's taken me a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. We've got the, you know, the base of it done, so it's a shell of a lapbook ready to be, you know, turned into something. So on the next part, we will start using the book pages, the Secret Garden book pages, formatting, and I also want to add in some additional flips so that I can get, you know, a good amount of ephemera in this project. And I'll leave these pieces to dry whilst I'm, you know, I don't want to like fold. I'm going to leave this open like this whilst these pieces with the art glitter glue, whilst they dry, because otherwise I think I might get like wrinkles in things. So I'm going to leave it to dry for a bit and see how I get on in that sense. But more than anything, I hope you've enjoyed watching me figure this puzzle out, and hope that you're looking forward to seeing this come together. As I say, I'm just making it up. I'm sort of, you know, people have done Lapbook tutorials and craft alongs and all the rest of it, which I probably am taking inspiration from, but equally, obviously my base was this book cover, so I'm also figuring it out as I go and, you know, deciding for myself what I want to do and what the right thing is for me in this project. Which is what we do, isn't it? We just take inspiration and take guidance, and then we start figuring things out as we go. All part of the fun of everything, isn't it? So I'm just checking that for the most part I just want my spines to be covered, so you can't see the yucky grey board because it's not very attractive. So I'm just checking that and just making sure that everything is glued down well. And so from here I'm going to leave it flat, like I say, just to give everything a chance to take. And then I'll probably have to start, you know, going in with my bone folder and all the rest of it to get it to fold up again. Now, at this stage, obviously I have to make a decision over whether I am going to stitch around the whole thing or not. I'm still undecided, so I'm going to leave it there and have a think about what I want to do. So on the next video, you will find out what I decide. And as I say, on the next video, we'll start covering up these panels with the lovely book pages, and getting some flips in, and yeah, just, you know, taking this project forward as best we can, really. So I'll leave it there. That was part 1. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I will make a playlist for this project. I'll make it, well, it will be in the Secret Garden playlist, but I'm also going to make a Lapbook playlist, I think, because I imagine I'll probably make Lapbooks in the future. But for now, I'll leave it there. I'll say goodbye. I'll say thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.